If you're traveling to Japan and you have all of the questions about riding the Shinkansen, how it works, what the process is like, this is your comprehensive guide for riding the Shinkansen from your bestie who grew up going to Japan. Here's what we'll cover: how to book your ticket, how to prep and what to expect, step-by-step process, and FAQs. Made it on the Shinkansen from Hakodate, or Shin Hakodate, to Tokyo. Actually, I am a silly goose and I had no idea that you could take a Shinkansen from Hokkaido, which is an entirely different island, all the way back to Tokyo. Which is hilarious because I am a Japan travel girly, but this is why I always disclaimer that I'm not an expert, and it's good that I'm here to kind of tell you these things, show you these things, right? Let's start with how to book your ticket. I personally recommend either going to the station or booking on Klook. At the station, you can use a ticketing machine or you can talk to somebody in person if it gives you peace of mind. And if you go through Klook, this is definitely a very user-friendly, stress-free option. You'll see what I mean in a bit. You can also book your ticket through the SmartX app, although I don't particularly recommend it. I just don't think the app is user-friendly enough. I'd rather just go in person if you're gonna go that route. Moving on to what to expect and how to prep. You can take the Shinkansen from both Shinagawa and Tokyo stations, specifically if you're traveling to places like Hiroshima, Osaka, Kyoto. But you can also take the Shinkansen from Ueno if you're traveling to places like Hokkaido. Depending on where you're traveling to and from, the app will let you plug in whatever destination. So for Tokyo, obviously it would be Tokyo Station or Shinagawa, but for Hiroshima, Kyoto, you can plug that in. Same with Osaka, but just note that you will be going into Shin Osaka Station for Osaka specifically. When it comes to choosing your seat, of course, Klook makes it very straightforward. You can choose your class type, so whether that's unreserved, reserved seating, green class, or a first class type of car. And then you can also select whether you want a view of Mount Fuji or oversized luggage. Although I don't believe you can toggle both, so if you need oversized luggage and you would like a view of Mount Fuji, I highly recommend booking that in person and talking to somebody at a ticketing counter. When it comes to booking through the ticketing machine, I know you can pick your class type, but I do believe that they randomize the seats. At least that's been my personal experience. Once you book your Shinkansen tickets through the Klook app, you will get a confirmation that goes to both your email and also on like your bookings on the actual app. When you want to access your actual booking, I believe you go to the trips tab and it'll have your booking right there, which pulls up your QR code. That is what you'll use to get into the gate. More on that later. How much time should you give yourself before you arrive at the station the day of your travels? I recommend between 30 and 45 minutes. Some people might suggest an hour. That's quite a bit of time, but just in case it gives you peace of mind, that is perfectly fine as well. The reason I say 30 to 45 minutes, that gives you a chance to kind of settle in, maybe grab some food, locate your gate, and kind of just get your bearings at the station before boarding your train. So when you book your tickets through the Klook app, there will actually be a pop-up that asks if you want to add an ekiben. What is an ekiben? It is one of those bento boxes that you can get at the station. And the one that I actually had on Klook was a self-heating ekiben, and it was delicious.
So good.
So good.
So good.
You will find these ekiben all over various stations, but some of these stations will have kind of like a limited selection. I personally like to wait before I go through the gate just to see what other food options are available around the station or at the station. So keep that tip in mind if you are picky with food or you're looking for something specific. When in doubt, do not hesitate to ask for help. There are so many ticketing attendants at like the ticketing gates and people that are there to help you. Anytime I've gotten lost or I don't know exactly where my gate is, or I maybe am having problems getting myself through the gate, there is somebody to help you. So do not stress too much. It's gonna be okay. Let's break down the step-by-step process in real life. This Shinkansen is a little bit different. It got here really, really early, and we actually secured a spot for our luggage, which is really good because I don't think our luggage would fit in the overhead in the overhead compartments.
So anxious about that.
Yeah.
We came like 20 minutes earlier. I think the train came like 30 minutes earlier too, so
Yeah.
come early.
Come early so you can put your luggage on the luggage area. Yeah, all of the Shinkansens are different, but I feel like because we're out in Hakodate area, like that's probably why. As people who are very last minute travelers and like laid back travelers, we actually suggest booking your tickets for the Shinkansen ahead of time because we almost missed
No,
like
we
the
did,
ideal
the
time.
day. We should have done it probably 3 days before.
3 days before. I feel like that would have been a good time frame. Yeah. So just notes for you. Let's go back to Tokyo. When it comes to figuring out your car and your seat number, that is actually listed on your ticket. So whether you book it in person or you print it from the ticketing machine or through the Klook app, it will have your car and your seat number listed there, unless you have unreserved seating. When it comes to finding your gate, this is kind of like an airport, or that's what it reminds me of. Basically, when you get to the station, you'll want to locate your Shinkansen on the big board, the board that looks like the same board that you see at an airport. You'll look for your Shinkansen and Shinkansen number, which is also listed on your ticket. So it might say something like Hikari 245 or Nozomi 12, something like that. Once you locate your Shinkansen and Shinkansen number and your time of departure, you can see which number is your gate. Like I said, if you have a reserved seat, your e-ticket will list what car you are and what seat number you are. For the most popular routes, for example, Kyoto, Osaka, Hiroshima, you can actually take the QR code that you have on your phone through the Klook app and scan it right at the gate. It's pretty awesome. Super convenient. You don't have to talk to anybody. You just scan it and go through. If you have a physical ticket, you'll just feed it through the machine. Easy peasy. For more rural areas like Shin Hakodate Station, you'll actually have to scan your QR code at a ticketing machine to redeem a physical ticket for the Shinkansen. But the process is super straightforward. You just toggle on English. You have the QR code scanner. It even says like for QR code. You scan your QR code and then you wait for your tickets to print, and then you have your Shinkansen tickets. Okay, this is the ticket machine that you were gonna pick up your tickets at. You just do the QR code reading, super easy.
Welcome. Please select a ticket.
QR code, and then you take the QR code and you just do that. Issue tickets.
Please don't forget your card and ticket. Issuing ticket now. Please take your ticket.
Nice. And there we go. Lastly, let's go over some frequently asked questions. I touched on this a little bit, but oversized luggage. You will definitely have to reserve for oversized luggage ahead of time. You can do this via the Klook app. Like I said, you can do this in person. However, I would definitely check the measurements beforehand to ensure that you actually have oversized luggage. I have a standard check-in suitcase and it fits in the overhead compartment, no problem. For the route to Osaka, Kyoto, Hiroshima, there are oversized luggage areas, and I do believe there are some oversized luggage racks separately as well. But like I said, for the most part, a standard check-in suitcase will fit in the top compartment. For Hokkaido and going from Shin Hakodate back to Tokyo, there are actually luggage racks, and these are first come, first serve. If I recall correctly, they were large enough for larger sized luggage, but when in doubt, if you have oversized luggage, I just say go in person and deal with it there so you can actually get like somebody in real life to like answer your questions. See, the overhead compartments are just a little bit smaller than the ones that you would see from like Tokyo to Osaka. Normally, I would say you're fine, but not in this case. So this is where the luggage area is, and it is first come, first serve. At least I hope it is, because we didn't reserve anything. By the way, eating and drinking on the Shinkansen is totally okay. They actually sell food on the Shinkansen, and like I said before, you can buy an ekiben at the station. Also, don't need to worry about using the restroom before you get on the train, because there are definitely restrooms on the Shinkansen. Could you imagine going like 4 hours without using the restroom? I can't. Also, you can totally chat with friends, but keep in mind, of course, that it's a communal space. So you don't want to be shouting or talking so loudly that everybody can hear you. You just want to make sure you're not being disruptive, and definitely do not block the aisles. I've seen so many videos on the internet of people like blocking the aisles with their suitcases. That is a big, big no-no. Wait, random fun fact. I just learned that the Shinkansen from Shin Hakodate to Tokyo is the fastest Shinkansen. Like, I rode it and I had no idea. Also, just found out that it goes underwater. I was wondering about that when I was riding it. I was looking at like the maps going, where am I? Am I above water? Am I underwater? And allegedly it's underwater and it's the fastest train. And I rode it and I had no idea. Pretty cool. Anyway, I think that's all I've got for now, but make sure to drop any additional questions you have in the comments. And just like that, we've made it back to Tokyo. See, that wasn't so bad. Easy breezy ride on the Shinkansen. I hope you feel a little bit more at ease now that you have the full rundown on the Shinkansen. Thanks for watching.